I'm Shuntskino. I do research and policy analysis at the OECD, and I've been looking into the impacts of the COVID-19 crisis on young people's mental health. Of course, not all young people have access to digital devices or the internet, and that's why it's really urgent to close the digital divide. But as Nanako also says, online classes probably can only go so far as to replace the in-person interaction that young people usually experience through education and learning. Now, if the virus is not under control, resuming in-person teaching and learning is difficult. And really, as the OECD, we think, therefore, that policies in the immediate term to provide additional mental health support for young people. We know that loneliness is a risk factor for the development of mental health conditions further down the line. How to address loneliness is one of the big questions for policymakers as we look to emerge from the COVID-19 crisis. What we do know is that many young people have shown great resilience and been able to adapt, often using digital forms of communication and video calls over Zoom to sustain social connection. What we don't know yet is to what extent these can effectively cushion the impact of enforced physical distancing on loneliness, and what this means for the mental health of young people over the long term. That's why it's really vital that prompt and early action to support mental health, including for young people, should be a priority for governments. And of course, this is not just about mental health, but also the impact that poor mental health, if left unidentified and unaddressed, can have on employment and education prospects throughout the life course. Now, one of the ways in which governments can take action is by ensuring frontline actors across society, including line managers at work, teachers at school, educators in higher education, and employment caseworkers, are adequately trained in mental health, so they can identify potential symptoms of mental health issues amongst young people, make small adjustments to the way they teach or the way they manage, and support young people in a way that is appropriate. And in the wake of the financial crisis, what we saw was a surge in youth unemployment across many OECD countries. And we know that unemployment is a risk factor for mental ill health. So as we look to recover from the COVID-19 crisis, even from the perspective of mental health, it is really key that timely action is put in place to support young people into jobs and avert a youth unemployment crisis. And we do know that this is an issue high on the agenda of many countries. The challenge really is now to implement policies to make commitments like these a reality.